Good evening, folks. Sorry I'm a little late. Had to take care of the kids, you know. That's why I've got this shirt on today. Dads don't babysit. It's called parenting. You know, I'm, as many of you know, single father, and my girlfriend just moved in not too long ago, but for all intents and purposes, it's been several years of me and two kids. So I think that dads have been getting the short end of the stick, especially those who have been busting their ass every day, in and out, working all kinds of crazy jobs, doing whatever they can just so that their kids can have an awesome life. So, you know what? This one's to all you fathers out there. I raise my glass to you. Single, married, otherwise, doesn't matter. If you busting your ass making sure your kids have the best thing that they can possibly have, here's to you. So today it's number 40, and in all honesty, I'm kind of amazed that I've been able to do 40 things in a row. It's kind of awesome. I'm kind of happy about that. So today what we're talking about is newbies, people new to the kilt, but not from the perspective of that person. I'm talking about how to address the first time kilt wearer, in the respect of they're doing something that is really probably not in their best interest. You've got a guy at a Ren festival, for instance, where they still have the basting stitches in, or they're wearing the kilt backwards, or, well, that's pretty much the only reasons I would go up and talk to anybody other than to say, hey, congratulations, awesome kilt. What clan is it, or who made your modern kilt, or whatever. So how do you address these things? In the, I don't know, 12 odd years that I've been wearing kilts, I've only had to deal with someone with basting stitches twice and backwards kilt once. The backwards kilt, the guy was kind of an asshat, so I just kind of let him move on his merry way. But there's two people with basting stitches still in. I walked up, and this is what we're going to talk about today. So if you're out and about and you encounter someone who's obviously new to kilting, and obviously is either wearing the kilt backwards, or there's something else, like they're sporing. You know how a sporran is supposed to be worn, and they're like, it's the sporran straps are backwards, or there's something that could make their life a hell of a lot easier. You want to go up and talk to them and saying, so, and just to, I'm sorry, I'm kind of rambling a little bit. Anyway, be as clear as you can. Say, hey, I dig the new kilt. First off, I'd ask, where'd you get it? Not obviously, but most likely they got it from someplace at the event you're at. And they'll be like, oh, I got it at blah, blah, blah. And it's right over there. Keep that in mind for next time. Because you could, or not next time, afterwards, because you can go up and talk to the seller and say, hey, you sold this guy a kilt. You didn't tell him to take the basting stitches out. He's got his kilt on, and he's walking around with a burlap bag around his waist. Fix it in the future. So just walk up and say, hey, I dig the kilt. When you bought it, did they say anything about doing anything before you put it on? More often than not, they're going to say, no, he thought it was awesome. It's great. Here you go. Put the kilt on. Go have a blast. Obviously, the person who sold him the kilt didn't tell him that thread holding all the pleats together has to be removed. And you just say, hey, look, this is what I've got on. Here's my kilt. See, I've been wearing these for a long time. That thread actually is just meant there to hold the kilt together while it's being shipped between the manufacturer and when it's sold. When you buy it and you wear it, you actually have to pull that out. So they'll look at you like, oh crap, I didn't know that. So what I usually do after that is I say, well, hang on a second. I'm not a weirdo. I'm not crazy. Let me fix that for you right now. And that's why I carry this with me. This, as you can see, it's my Eagle Scout medallion, but it's a pair of scissors. And it is a knife. Right here. Boom. So what I've done, and twice now that I've done this, I'm like, hold on, just, I'm not crazy, I'm not a weirdo, I'm not trying to reach up a kilt. Just, if you want, I can get rid of these basting stitches right now, and you will feel a bazillion times better. Both times they're like, yeah, please, because this feels weird. It's not what I expected. So you take your time, and yes, it does look a little odd. You know, just the whole point of taking a basting stitch out of a kilt that somebody's actually wearing. But think of it from this perspective. Not only are you putting forth enough goodwill to A, let the guy know that his kilt is, it's not on 100% right. He needs to get the basting stitch out. But B, you're willing to help him out right then and there. You know, he's probably out at a Renaissance festival having a good time. You know, like me, I have no problem with, running around at the Ren fairs having a good time. You know, there's all kinds of shenanigans to be had. You know, if you're with good friends, great fun. If you're out by yourself, even better. There's tons of fun to be had at the Ren Fair or at the Scottish Festival, at the wherever you may be. But it sucks if you're wearing a kilt that still has basting stitches. So just spend the 5 minutes, deal with the public, whatever crap people might say about what the hell are you doing on your knees and behind that guy in a kilt. Doesn't matter. You're saving that guy's day, maybe making his week, and who knows, he might wind up being somebody who wears his kilt all the time. And it all goes back to you, the guy who sat and spent 5 minutes helping him fix that problem. So that's what it is. It's, if you see somebody who's having a trouble with their kilt, wearing it backwards is really easy. Just flip it around. But don't be an ass about it. You know, walk up and say, hey, I love your kilt. It's awesome. Have you done any research on how to wear a kilt before? They're probably going to say no. Ask them where they got it. Try to figure out where this lack of communication, lack of education came from. Because what you can do then is you take that back and you go back to wherever it came from. Say it's a national vendor or even worse, a worldwide vendor, where they contract out to local folks for their events. Call up and say, hey, blah, blah, blah. I was just at an event at wherever I was, and your merchant just sent some guy out without taking his basting stitches out, or he's wearing it backwards and they didn't tell him. You might not want to hire that guy again. You can actually do that. I've reached out to a couple of vendors where this has happened. It's something you should really do. So keep in mind that every single time you help someone who is obviously, how do I put this? Kilt illiterate, I guess is maybe, where they just don't know, but they like, oh, I love the kilt. I love the freedom, the fact, they want to walk around regimental and I think it's really cool. Go for it. Just make sure you help them out. So someone had bumped in there earlier and said, Volume 1, sorry Chris, this was way before you chimed in. So let's put this away. And if you have a small little knife, and I'm looking like an inch blade or so in your sporran, I know I always carry one, it is immensely helpful in helping solve these kind of problems, because basting stitch is usually just one piece of thread. Cut, 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 cut. Pull it out very carefully. Don't mess up the weave, and you're golden. So we're going to go to Kiltology today, right now, and see what we got. And Volume 1, let's see what we got. Oh, let's go with this one. So, as a lot of you know, entitlement is a huge deal, especially here in the States for the past years. So we're going to go with Kiltology number 133. The wearing of the kilt does not, in itself, entitle its wearer to anything. If you want to be entitled to something, get off your ass and make it happen. There's no such thing as a free kilt. So what does that mean? That means that if you've got a goal in life, if you have a drive where I want to be able to afford that $600 handmade, hand-woven family tartan kilt made in Scotland by some guy spending a full week on my kilt alone, then get off your ass and do it. Don't sit there, wait for somebody else to come up and say, oh, here's a free kilt. Doesn't happen. Here's a free lunch. Here's a free whatever. Wait for that. If you wait for that kind of stuff, you're going to be waiting a long time. So, get off your ass. Get out there. Make it happen. Do it. And again, to all the dads out there busting your ass so that your kids have the best life that you can possibly give them, I raise my glass to you. Slàinte. And gentlemen, ladies, everyone else, be strong. Put a kilt on. Talk to you tomorrow.